Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited in this video to talk all about my spring garden, what I've done, all of the resources that I found so that I can help you guys if you're new to gardening. So gardening's kind of big in my family. My dad has a huge garden every year. Wes has done a lot of gardening, but this is my first little garden that I'm doing all by myself. So I'm super excited. As always, anything that I mention in this video as I'm talking, I'll be sure to link below for you guys. And be sure that you're following me over on Instagram at hollyhomebody_ so you can see how things go. I'm sure I'll be sharing lots of garden updates over there. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk about the main resource that I used in figuring out what the heck I'm doing. So I went by this book. This is called Vegetables Love Flowers. And I knew that I wanted to have my garden be a flower and a vegetable garden. I love fresh flowers, who doesn't? It's just super pretty. And then I also wanted some vegetables, but like I said, there are other big gardens in our family, so I wasn't too focused on like having a whole bunch of vegetables. I mainly just wanted like tomatoes. I'd like to make my own salsa later, which I'll be sure to share if that goes well. But anyway, so I found this book, Vegetables Love Flowers. It says companion planting for beauty and bounty. And this book is such a great resource for a beginner. She talks about all the different like types of plants. I mean, she focuses a lot on flowers. There's also some information about vegetables in here too. I think with gardening, just like most things, what I found anyway is find one good resource and just look at that. So gardening is a topic that, oh my gosh, there's so many resources on. There's like an infinite number of books, YouTube channels, blogs, and people have different opinions and different ways that they go about doing things. And you get really confused if you start digging too deep into all of these different things. You're like, oh, this person says to do this person says to do this. I found that if you find one good resource and go by that, it just makes it a lot more like simple. It doesn't seem so overwhelming. One of my favorite things that she has in this book that I wanted to be sure to point out is in the back, she has garden plans. So she has, it's really pretty amazing. So I did the city garden, which is this page here, city garden. And she shows you what to plant in if you only have space for one bed, which is what I'm doing. And I made my raised, or I asked Wes to make my raised bed a 3x12, which is what she recommends. She tells you what to plant for spring, summer, fall, winter. Basically, you have something going on in your garden all year round. In the winter, you just have a cover crop. But anyway, so that's the city garden. But then she also has 6 different other beds. So if you have space for like 6 beds, she tells you what to plant in bed 1, spring, summer, fall, winter, bed 2, bed 3. And you know, if you do all 6 beds, you have like a whole bunch of vegetables and flowers and everything. So it's pretty amazing. Anyway, it's a good thing to have flowers near your vegetables, and you can, you know, you won't need pesticides and things like that if you do so. So anyway, I would recommend picking up this book. I really enjoyed it. It's a great resource. I keep checking back and looking things up all the time. Okay, so now let's talk about my raised bed. So like I said, it's a 3x12. It is made of cedar. And if you are wanting to make one or wanting to have your husband make one, my husband actually does have a YouTube channel. I don't know if you guys knew that. He doesn't post as often as I do, but he's been posting more frequently. And anytime he does a little project like that or whatever, he will post a video showing how he did it. So I'll be sure to link that below, because I've already had a few people on Instagram ask like, how did you build that, or where did you buy it? Any raised bed that you make, you don't have to necessarily do 3x12 like I did, but you want to do 3 by whatever length that you want. You don't want to do wider than 3 feet, because if you think about it, when you're, you know, kneeling down in your garden working, 3 feet you can like reach all the way across. If you do wider than that, it's gonna be hard to reach, and you're gonna be kicking yourself later. If you're just getting started and you wanna know when to plant things, like maybe you're like, I wanna grow tomatoes, but I don't know anything about where to start or what to do, I'll put a link below to the Farmer's Almanac website. And what you're gonna do is insert your zip code, and it will tell you when to plant what based on your location. It's really cool. It'll tell you when the last frost date is in your location. Look up what zone you're in, because once you know that, you can also, like, for example, I was interested in growing blueberries, which I'll talk about in a minute, and I just looked up like because I'm in zone 6. So I looked up blueberries zone 6, you know, and it just the internet makes it really easy to find all of this information. So figure out what zone you're in and use that Farmer's Almanac link, and that'll help you so much. We used, in my raised bed, compost that we bought from a local nursery. We got like a whole bunch of it. You can just use like regular soil too, that's fine. The compost is supposed to be really good. So for my raised bed, as far as what I planted, I got seeds for sunflowers, zinnias, marigolds, yeah, and that's it. Those 3 things. I had to think for a second. So I did a whole section on the left side of just zinnias. I put tomatoes in the middle. I'll talk about that in a minute. And then on the other side, I did the sunflowers and marigolds. So I planted all of those by seed. Now for my tomatoes, which I planted in the middle, I did cherry tomatoes, 4 cherry tomato plants and 4 regular tomato plants. I did the mortgage lifter, which there's kind of a funny story behind that where I won't get into it, but I'll link below to what the mortgage lifter tomatoes are. It's kind of funny. Those I bought seedlings from our local nursery. So they've already been started. Tomatoes are something that it's better if you start them from, if you're gonna start them from seed, to start them indoors. And then once I was done planting everything, I used this Miracle Grow fertilizer, and I'm gonna be using this once a week. It's the organic fertilizer. It just seemed to me like the easiest way to fertilize the garden. You just hook it up to your hose. So yeah, the other thing that I wanted to try to grow is blueberries. Blueberries are supposed to be great because you can grow them in a container. And I planted those into big terracotta pots out on my patio, and so far those seem to be doing good. I don't know if we'll actually have blueberries on them the first year. Okay, so let's talk about a couple of things that I bought to use in my garden, like tools. So I got these. These are like gardening shears, and they're really kind of ergonomic and nice. So especially, you know, if you're planting a flower garden, you have to go in and like harvest like once or twice a week, she recommended in the book. So you don't want to just be trying to do that with like scissors or something. Like this will make it go a lot faster. Another thing that I got as far as tools go was the seeding square, and I talked a little bit about it before I used it, so I'll insert that clip right now. I found this on Amazon and I thought, oh my gosh, how handy. So the way that it works is you stick this in the garden. It's a square foot. And so you mark out your squares in your garden bed, and then you look up what it is that you're planting. Something like sunflowers, which I will be planting, are blue. So you look at your square and you plant one here, one here, one here, one here. And you do that for every square. It's just a lot easier than trying to measure it out. You know, you can go a lot faster. And it also came with this, and this is a tool that you poke down into the ground. So if it says, you know, you need to plant it 2 inches deep, you poke this into the ground 2 inches, and then you use this little funnel, stick this over the hole that you just made, and you can put your seeds right in this thing and pour them in there, or you can just, I think it'd be easier, just put them in your hand and pour them into the little funnel. So this is just kind of a handy tool for me, like as a beginner. I really like it because it's kind of foolproof and makes it really easy to know how to space everything out. So after having used it, I loved it as far as like just the ability to space things out really easily. That was so nice. It made it really easy. I used that little orange thing to poke the holes. That was all wonderful. I didn't find myself using the little funnel at all. I would just like make the holes and then just like sprinkle the seed in with my fingers. One last thing I wanted to talk about was, this is kind of off topic, but I know a lot of you are moms. I wanted to kind of help Charlie to understand and like the concept of growing things and what it means, and like how plants start from a seed and then they grow, which is kind of a hard concept for, you know, a toddler. But I found these really great books, and I mean, we love reading in this house. So I'll start with this one. This is the Spring book by Gerda Mueller. We have all of her seasonal books except for summer. We'll have to get that one next. But her books are just picture books. They don't have, there's no words, but you just look through them and kind of talk about each page. He loves these. And there's, of course, in the Spring book, some pictures of gardening. Oh, I think Charlie just spoke up. Did you hear that? So I'll wrap this up. But then the last one is, or another kid's book is called In the Garden. And this one is so cute and so great for teaching kids about gardening. So I'll link to these below too if you guys have toddlers and you're wanting to kind of help them understand gardening. I think like gardening in general is just such a great learning experience for a child. I mean, how cool to just watch something grow from seed and then turn into something that you can eat. Like that's so cool. Here's Chester, by the way. Chester says hi. He heard me in here talking. He's like, hello, I need a little camera time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you're growing in the comments below if you are gardening this year. And yeah, be sure to subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.